On today's video, we visit a place called Camden, South Carolina, and we have a bad experience. The first restaurant we were trying to eat at was open till 3. However, at 1:55, we were told our meal would have to be to go, even though there's plenty of customers still there. The second restaurant we went to, not too far away, tried to pass off a filet mignon that was actually not a filet mignon. As you can see, the meat was rough, definitely not a filet mignon. Ironically, we recorded a video in Sumter, South Carolina on the way here, and we talked about these types of things as if knowing the type of situation we would end up in a small South Carolina town. So there's a restaurant called Blackman over there. We went over there, and it's 1:55. Now, granted, we left Sumter, South Carolina. The drive-through at the Starbucks was like easily going to be over an hour. So we drive all the way over here. It's 1:50 in the afternoon. We hadn't eaten anything. They're open till 3. So we walk in. And again, they're open till 3 technically. And it's 1:50. There's people in there. A lot of people eating. People still waiting in line for food. And we walk in. The guy says, "Sorry, you're going to have to take it to go. It's almost 2 o'clock. Now, granted, there's already people eating. There's people waiting for their food. So it's not like there's nobody in there. There's people in there. So I walk out and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna go eat somewhere else. And I walk out. Now, knowing these small towns, if my car is still there, it hasn't got towed away, or something hasn't happened to my car, or if we get pulled over before we leave this town, or anything of that sort were to happen for the rest of our remainder in this little town, it wouldn't surprise me one bit knowing these places. Surprisingly, it's still out there. And miraculously, our truck is still out there. There. I walk in and I order. That's the most expensive restaurant in town. I walk in and I order a filet mignon with a lobster. Now, we were there for an hour, so it's almost now 3:30 and we're still just trying to get something to eat. So you'll see my Sumter, South Carolina video, and you can see the things I talked about in that video, how they're perfectly portrayed here in this small little town. It's 3:15. I was able to eat a salad that I had ordered with my lunches. I was like, I'm not gonna let these people ruin my day. So when the first guy was a jerk, I said, I'll just go to the best restaurant in town and order the most expensive stuff they have, you know? And I'm not gonna let you ruin my day. Definitely I'm not gonna let them ruin my day. And I'm happy right now. We're gonna go to Atlanta tonight. We're gonna explore Augusta for the first time. We've never been there. I'm not gonna let these people here who work at a restaurant during the weekend ruin my day, because I'm gonna have a beautiful day. I'm on vacation, and I'm on vacation twice a month. But the point is this: that these little small towns out here, they have a way of making you feel very unwelcome if you're an outsider. And obviously they thought they were gonna pull the wool over my head. I said nope.
They work to take up your time as much as possible.
Yeah, they try to suck up your time as much as possible is what they do. But I'm not gonna let somebody. I worked at a restaurant. I know what a filet mignon is. I've been a butcher. I know what a filet mignon is. You're not gonna sit here and try to pass that off as a filet mignon to me. And I made a video and I recorded it in front of them. In other words, I'm gonna put it on there. I gave the other guy a bad review. I'm gonna give these people a bad review. They're definitely going to get the bad review. And I wouldn't doubt before we leave this town if they're going to have their little cop buddies come out and pull us over and give us a ticket or harass us, because that's how these small towns work. They work a certain way. But if you saw my South Carolina video in Sumter, you'll see the things that I explained, and this is how they're portrayed. So you're in a part of the country where you can't really even go to a restaurant. I mean, at least in Alabama, you can go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. At least in Alabama, you can go to a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like here, you can't even go to a restaurant without having to deal with their politics. So, not a town I'd ever recommend you even drive through or visit, and definitely not a town I would definitely not recommend moving to. Now, I see license plates from a bunch of other states. There's people that are leaving California, They're leaving a bunch of other states that are more expensive. But when you move to somewhere more affordable, you can end up in a place like this where it's 2:30 in the afternoon, and we're still kind of haven't even been able to find food. You know, that's just the type of crap you have to deal with in these small southern towns. And I would definitely say that at least in Alabama, you can go to a restaurant. In a sense, you know. But I don't know. I've never felt so. Kind of the most discouraging town I've ever been to. The most upsetting town I've ever been to. People here, they just want to. This was the first restaurant we went to.
Yep.
And they acted a fool, and I gave them a bad review. You know, like we parked, and they're open till 3. You know. It's just, you know, they have a way of making you feel unwelcome and unwanted if you're not from these little towns. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it just is what it is. But I'm definitely going to tell my story and let people know that this town, whatever type of things going on here, is definitely not cool. And again, I am a person that's lived in Alabama, and at least in Alabama, you can get something to eat if you need to. Like here, these people, and we were nice. I was actually planning on giving her a really large tip. Here's where they messed up. I was actually, since the other restaurant didn't treat us right, if they had treated me right, I was going to give them about $100 tip. My plan was, if they treated me right, they were going to get a $100 tip. But apparently, this restaurant, at least the other one, they told us straight up, you're not welcome here, basically. You know, not sure exactly. At least the other restaurant didn't welcome us. These people, you're gonna order filet mignon, and you're gonna give me a piece of meat that's probably an end piece off of, I don't know what the crap that was. It was the hardest piece of meat I've ever seen. You couldn't even cut it with a knife. You know, never brought out the lobster, but that's just what you get in these little towns. You get people that, for some reason or another, when they see an outsider, they think they can pull a wool over your head. But, anyways, I'm not gonna let it bother me because I live by the beach in Florida. I do this for YouTube to make money. I come to these places to make money and enjoy my travels and stuff. But
and you got me.
And I got a white woman.
Yeah.
And I'm still hungry.
Yeah.
I'm kind of fat, man. Maybe it wouldn't hurt me just to go light with that saute.
It was not like they barely gave you pasta. It was like a half cup of pasta.
Imagine living in a town where you can't even go to a restaurant, where you have to politic to get a meal at a restaurant. That's just, they're trying to live like it's the 1800s still. You understand? They're trying to live, this town here, they're trying to live like it's still the 1800s. In their minds, it's still the 1800s. You know, they don't. If somebody comes from out of town and they don't like, you know, they think you're whatever. That's how they move in these towns. Very disappointing, very sad. Definitely wouldn't recommend anybody to. Why would you come to a place like this? You know.
Scallops were a little tough.
Yeah. Hey, Sal never hurt nobody. It was embarrassing. It's like he didn't even deny it. Like he didn't even try to put up an argument. He's just like, yeah, it's not a filet mignon. You know. But that's just the type of people you have here, thieves, basically. You know, like how the crap am I going to order my most expensive thing in a restaurant? And you're going to bring me a hard rock of a, not of a meal. You know what I mean?
That was more like low-grade sirloin.
Not even a sirloin. You couldn't pass that off to me as a sirloin.
Yeah.
You know? And when they saw you recorded it and taking pictures, then that's when they started acting different.
Yep.
They didn't even deny it. But basically, what they're telling you is don't come here. Don't come here is what they're telling you. And why? Because instead of wearing a shirt, I'm wearing a Bass Pro Shop shirt. Why? Because you're not from there. That's it. They don't know who you are, so they're gonna treat you like that. That's how these places work, man.
And I'm wearing DKNY.
Yeah, she's got. Oh, could be what you're wearing too.
Yeah.
Just they look at the way you're dressed and they're like, oh, you're not from around here, so we're gonna treat you like that. But can you move to a place like this? Why would you move to a place like this? You have to constantly deal with these people's politics. And today perfectly illustrates exactly why I left Alabama. And to be honest, I don't even think Alabama was this bad. This is worse than what I've experienced today here. I can go to a small town in Alabama, and even if they don't like me, I can get a meal at a restaurant. But these people here, kind of, well, I wouldn't say that either. Like, this is what happens. But I think, as a matter of fact, we were talking about in the last video, which is filmed before this video, we were talking about getting those little glasses, like the secret camera glasses, and just going to restaurants in the South that we know are racist places, just to show you guys exactly how they treat you and how they waste your time and the things they do in these towns. Let's get the crap out of here.
Yeah.
Let's get out of South Carolina. Let's go to Georgia. Let's go to Atlanta. GPS. Do you want to see Augusta or no? I guess we have to.
Okay.
Is this their main road here?
Aiken.
March. Is this their main street? Yeah. This is it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to see this. I'm done with this place. Let's
Okay.
get out of this place. South Carolina, man. Definitely. No, get out. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm still hungry. But yep. You saw that in the Columbia video. The drive-thru at the Starbucks was long and beyond infinity.
Get me one of those. And the bill came out to be less than
Well, yeah, because they had to take off everything I ordered. Everything I ordered was the most expensive stuff that they had.
Yeah.
But see that when I walked in there and I ordered that, they already probably knew what was up.
Yeah.
When I walked in and ordered the most expensive thing they had. You know, it might bother them that that you're young and you're two tourists from out of the state coming and they order the most expensive stuff they have, and it's a Saturday at 3 in the afternoon and they're out here working at a restaurant. Who knows? I don't know how the crap these people think. I just know they're hateful and evil. That's all I know.
Yeah.
But it's your turn to drive though. Park somewhere you can drive. Unbelievable. Well, if you
35. Go 35.
Yeah, they're gonna definitely pull us over here.
Yep.
We're not gonna leave this time without getting pulled over. I can guarantee you, like, good possibility we're gonna get pulled over for leave this time.
And I'll live stream it.
Yeah, you have to live stream it. You have to live stream it. But it's just unbelievable how backwards some of these places in the South are. I mean, you go to places where you can't even get a real restaurant. I mean, they really, really go out of their way to just make life miserable for everybody. So, if you moved from California, let's say you moved from California to this town, and you by bad luck of life landed in this town here from another state, they would do this type of thing to you all day, every day, in and out, till you'd be like, what's the point of living here?
Yep.
Why am I in this predicament all the time? But it comes down to, if they don't even care about themselves, or they don't respect themselves, what makes you think they're going to respect other people? Where I lived in Alabama, a lot of people there worked at a prison full of bed bugs and inmates. So if that's their work environment, what do you think? What do you think that's their own environment? What do you think they're going to give somebody else that they don't like? You know what I mean? It's like, if their cup of tea is sour, what makes you think they're going to make yours sweet? But let's ride up out of here. Get up out of this place. Katie's gonna have to drive because I gotta edit some videos, and also I gotta figure out where we're going. I'm the master planner.
You want me to get you a Popeye?
I'm good. I don't want anything. I might as well try to get a Popeye. Let's do it. I gotta eat something.
Yeah.
It's 3 in the afternoon. I'm about to pass out, man.
And my thing, it wasn't even a lot. It was like the littlest portion I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah. But that's what these towns are like. Hopefully they don't mess up that too.
No, there's
This is my third attempt to get something to eat in this town. Hopefully they don't mess. It's by the highway, so they're not gonna be.
No, they're not
Let's
gonna
see how long it
take
takes. Let's see how long it takes to make a chicken sandwich. That's why I want to eat a chicken sandwich now, but let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that's it. Okay. All right, thank you.
Just pull up to the rail.
Now, I don't want to see in the comments section people say they're from this small town and it was just you had a bad experience. It can happen to anyone. Before we got here, we knew the type of experience we were going to have in this region of South Carolina. That's why the Sumter video, we were there before. We talked about all these things. And we get to this small town, and guess what happens? Exactly what we knew would probably happen. And it's unexcusable that people in this region of the country think they can treat other people like garbage simply because they're not from there. Whether you're waiting at a Starbucks line for 45 minutes to an hour, or you're going to a restaurant and they're being treated like that, this is the type of customer service you can expect when you get into the more rural parts of the United States, in particular towards the Deep South. It is an area that is traditionally hostile to outsiders, and as you travel through these parts, you're going to feel unwelcomed, like your time's being wasted, and like people are just doing everything they can to make your stay or your time there as miserable as possible. Then they have the hypocrisy to use terms like Southern hospitality. I don't know if that was really a thing in the past, but recently when you travel to the South, the last thing you're going to get is hospitality. More likely what you're going to get is hostility. If at some point in the past Southern hospitality was a real thing, then these morals have definitely decomposed to a state where they don't exist anymore. While living in Alabama, I complained about my issues to a friend that was African American, and he explained it to me like this. Look, Jose, we don't even care about our own people. We don't respect each other. What makes you think we're going to respect somebody who's an outsider if we don't even care and respect each other? So there it is. Southern hospitality has become Southern hostility, and traveling through these regions of the country will definitely require for you to be patient. And really, the goal of these people is to make you act a fool, to make you look like you're the bad one, make you look like you're the jerk, make you look like you're the one that acted up, because as they're doing these things to you, they're not doing it directly, they're doing it passive-aggressively. In other words, they're not really showing hostility, they're acting like it's all a mistake, or it's all misunderstanding, or hey, we're about to close, or hey, oh, it was a mistake. But in reality, they're doing it to make you become angry and make you look like a jerk. So make sure you always practice your patience. And in my case, I just practice my camera to show you guys what the reality is of traveling to these parts of the country where you're always being treated like you're crap because you're not from there. Of course, I lived in Alabama for a year, so I know how the South works, and I gave them a taste of their own medicine before they gave me a taste of theirs. I made the chef come out, and I grabbed the steak in front of all his customers. I talked in a very calm, I even put a little French accent in there, and I said, sir, I'm a chef in Florida. I was also a butcher, and what you're doing to me here with the steak is a complete fraud. I even grabbed the steak up in the air so all the customers in the restaurant could see it, and I tried pulling it apart with my hands in a very exaggerated fashion to where he could definitely not deny in front of all his other customers that what he was doing wasn't right. And all this was done in a very calm, very professional. I even put a little French accent in there to make myself seem more eloquent. And that's a little bit of taste of their own medicine, because what they were trying to do was make me get angry and act a fool. But what I did is I gave them a taste of their own medicine. Since I lived in Alabama, I knew how they were coming at me, and I came at them with the same recipe. You'll notice in the comments section how the people that are from this area are eventually just going to start calling me a liar and saying that Mr. Kenny's the nicest guy in the world and he would never do that. But don't take it as a personal thing. As we travel through the entire Deep South region, this is what you deal with in most towns you go to. But in this town, it is definitely an extreme case.